Do you swear under penalty of law that the testimony you're about to give to the Council of the District of Columbia and the Committee on Aging and Community Affairs is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Thank you. Please be seated. Where's that statement?
Good morning, Chairman Marion Berry and members of the Committee on Aging and Community Affairs. My name is Ngozi Nmezi, the Acting Executive Director of the Office on African Affairs. I stand before you today to testify on my nomination to be the Director of the Office on African Affairs. I would like to begin by first thanking Mayor Vincent C. Gray for nominating me to serve as Director, Stephen Gaudet, the Director of the Office on Community Affairs, and those who have either testified or submitted written statements in support of my nomination. I wish to share with you my educational and professional background, unique qualifications, my vision for the agency, and what improvements I have made.
Mr. Ngozi, before you continue, I've just looked at your statement. It's rather lengthy. So I'd like for you to, in some instances, summarize as much as you can.
Not a problem.
And we will enter the full statement into the record.
Sounds good. Thank you. Background and unique qualifications. I am a native Washingtonian born in Ward 5 at Washington Hospital Center to 2 Nigerian immigrant parents and raised in Manor Park, Ward 4, where I spent a good portion of my childhood. I attended Whittier Elementary School and earned a bachelor's in science and biology and a master's in public health from Howard University. I'm currently a member of the Nwanne Dinaba Youth Association branch, an organization that highlights Igbo culture while encouraging and fostering unity among the young and the Igbo. In 1997, I relocated to Owerri, Imo State, Nigeria, to study and to be better acquainted with the African culture. In Owerri, I attended boarding school at Federal Government Girls College, Owerri. All in all, boarding school was a riveting experience, which built character, heightened resourcefulness, gave me a thorough understanding of the African thought process pertaining to governmental structure, awarded me the opportunity to totally immerse in the African culture, and allowed me to vastly expand my global network. During the holidays, I resided with my grandparents in Owerri. My grandfather, who passed away in 2004, was fondly referred to as the political Idiabali, which means a political diplomat who knows how to structure and fix things, no matter how complicated they appear to be. He served as superintendent of police in the Biafran War from 1967 to 1970, founded a company which engaged in fishing, real estate, and commodities trading, and acted as a chief political strategist, confidant, and advisor to the first executive governor of Imo State, Nigeria. He stressed the need to be disciplined, selfless, spiritual, and civically engaged. He taught me to never hesitate in taking chances. The years spent with him and the knowledge imparted by him left an indelible print on my mind. This undoubtedly shaped my career path. As we've heard before, I've conducted research in Nigeria and Ethiopia via the Minority Health and Health Disparities International Research Training. I've also worked as a contract coordinator for the Contracting and Business Development Department of the HSC Pediatric Center and the Health Services for Children with Special Needs. In 2007, I developed a capstone research project that explored the mental health of African immigrant population in the greater Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. In 2009, I joined the Global Support Services AECOM International Development Team as a proposal coordinator. I served in many roles, including a personnel writer, a recruiter, a CV writer, and an editor, which in turn satisfied all the RFP requirements of each solicitation. Additionally, in 2010, I served as a risk management specialist for the D.C. Department of Real Estate Services. My vision for OAA. OAA envisions the District of Columbia as a community that thrives on the full engagement of its socially and culturally diverse residents. As such, I intend to educate, inform, and empower the D.C. African community with the knowledge and resources necessary to have full access to the district services, programs, and initiatives. Under my leadership, I want to increase civic engagement of the African community in the District of Columbia. I intend to do this via structured outreach, educational programs, supporting community-based organizations, and increasing the capacity of African businesses. Our most critical challenge is the major discrepancy concerning the actual numbers of African-born in the District of Columbia. The Migration Institute figure is based on nearly 8,000 foreign-born, whereas the American Community Survey puts us at 10,500 residents. We've come to recognize that this discrepancy really misrepresents the actual size of African immigrant community in the district. Additionally, census data does not take into account the American-born children and grandchildren of the African-born immigrants. This becomes an important issue in respect to language access in the district. Immediate improvements include conducting site visits to various African community-based organizations and various stakeholders that provide services to DC's African constituency, remaining active within the Language Access Working Group, working diligently with the Office of the Boards and Commissions to appoint a wide representation of Africans with an emphasis on Francophone African countries to the Commission on African Affairs, spearheading planning efforts for the second annual DC Africa Day Festival, which is slated to take place on July 16th at Tacoma Park Recreation Center. We've generated partnerships in order to showcase the cultural and economic contributions. Additionally, we rolled out a recount initiative, which will be carried out and sustained and allow for the surveying of African businesses, organizations, and residents in attendance. Additionally, we've hosted the mayor, the African community and business leaders, cabinet members, council members, and the ambassador of Togo for an Africa Mixer, which showcased the important economic and cultural contributions of the African communities to the District of Columbia, recognized UN's declaration of 2011 as the International Year for People of African Descent, and touched on international business and trade as a revenue stream for the District of Columbia. Lastly, we welcome bilingual interns with a strong background in community outreach, as well as those with ties to the African community. This way, we partially alleviate the challenge of limited Cuban capacity. We are currently hosting 2 interns who are gaining valuable experience. I am deeply honored to serve as director for an agency that is so central to the mayor's single governing philosophy of one city. I am convinced that under the leadership of Mayor Vincent C. Gray and with the support of the district's African community, we can indeed translate this philosophy to a tangible reality. I look forward to serving the district's African community. Chairman Marion Berry and members of the Committee on Aging and Community Affairs, I thank you for the opportunity to testify today. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nmezi. As you know, I've had a lot of conversation with you. You've been for the committee on several occasions, and I'm confident that when the committee meets, you will be confirmed unanimously by the committee because we have that kind of faith in you. So therefore, I have no questions. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We recognize the president, Mr. Glaudet, who's about to leave. It reminds me of that, I think it's Geico, where the guy is trying to silently tiptoe out of the room. My job is to